Good afternoon. Thank you very much for being here with us. This afternoon, we will have a very brief look at what's new in this field. This contest has two types of awards, that is mention and technical novelties, technical innovation. Unfortunately, we won't have the opportunity to or time to describe also the mentions. We will first concentrate on technical innovation, and we apologize because at the moment no virtual tour of the contest is possible, but it will be possible soon. I'll show you, in the meantime, I'll show you some slides and I make some comments on them. Okay, just a couple of words on the contest. This contest is addressed to all Eima international exhibitors, and the goal is that of highlighting the most innovative technical solutions, those that can be most significant in the field of farming mechanization. There is a jury, of course, and the companies candidate themselves, and the jury comes to a decision. And three types of awards can be given: either the technical innovation contest, which is the first level, as it were. Then there can be also a blue prize, but not necessarily. A blue prize identifies a machine or product that has a certain environment friendly feature, so environment protection, and then mention, which is let's say a sort of second level prize, which is a good prize for good products that needs to be mentioned and highlighted. In 2021, two things have to be highlighted. 2020, 2021, two things have to be highlighted. One is a very good thing that we have an international jury. We've got jury members that do not just come from Italy, but from other countries as well. And we'll very briefly go back to this point later. And the second new thing, which is not as good, which is associated with the COVID emergency, is that the contest was divided into two parts. The first part gave the results that will be illustrated today, and these are all the applications that arrived within the deadline. There will be a second, however, a second phase where other applications can be submitted for Eima Fisica. And in Eima Fisica, all the companies being awarded will be shown. Now, let me tell you something about the jury members. We wanted to put together representatives of excellent universities: Bari, Bologna, Padua, Turin for Italy, Madrid, Berlin, Burgundy, and Trali in Ireland, outside Italy. So France, Ireland, Germany, and Spain were represented in the jury by members of the university. Then we have the National Institution for Agricultural Mechanization, which is a part of the Ministry of Agriculture here in Italy. Then the CNR, National Council of Research, and the Confederation of Italian Mechanical Machine Manufacturers. Now, in the first set of applications, there were 15 technical innovation winners. You will be able to see them in the Eima website and in the Eima digital preview. When possible, the virtual exhibition will open up, and so you will be seeing a 3D representations as if you were physically viewing these machines. Let me now mention one by one these 15 technical innovation winners. Well, before starting with the first one, let me say that the guidelines in this contest were, first of all, Agriculture 4.0, and then manufacturers worked a lot on specialized mechanization, narrow tractors for fruit orchards, for example. And then there are some solutions, some purely mechanical or hydraulic / mechanical solutions. That is a more classical engineering tradition, but that are interesting as well. So this is more or less some of the features we've seen in the applicants. Now, the first prize, goes to Alpego for the Horizon device, which is the one shown on the slide. This is an electromechanical device which keeps the distribution header horizontal in seeding machines, and this is indispensable to ensure uniform distribution, because when there are different slopes in the ground, and so the machine is not horizontal, if the distribution header follows the machine without being adapted, the spreading of the seeds would not be uniform. Whereas in this case, the distribution header is always horizontal, so the distribution of seeds is uniform. This was not available in the past, so it's pure innovation. So innovation is in itself, and the expected benefit is uniformity in seed distribution. Another interesting advantage is that this can be retrofitted, that is, fitted on existing machines. Second technical innovation for 2020-21 for this first phase is Antonio Carraro company that was awarded for the tractor you can see here, which is SRX 508 800 Tora. It seems normal, but actually this is not the case. It has a more powerful engine with a special DPF filter which complies with stage 5 pollution regulation. And even though it is more powerful, and even though it can comply with these regulations, the size has not get larger. So it's a narrow tractor, and this is not easy to obtain, because if you keep the same power, if you keep the same and the same size, well, you need lots of investment if you want to have more power and same size. So this is a very good improvement in our opinion. Now, third technical innovation, which also got the Blue Award, which is a flow meter, a device that can be retrofitted to a sprayer control system. It doesn't seem a very sexy object, but actually it has a very important environment protection feature. This solution, it actually puts together two things at the same time, two separate circuits. One, in sprayers, you need to control the low and high ends of the distribution, because the distribution must be optimized, and in this case, only the chemicals required should be distributed so it must be the waste must be avoided, which is good economically, but also good for the environment. And thanks to this ARAG company solution, you have a much more sophisticated control system, and you reduce the environmental impact, because this is a device that actually reduces the amount of chemicals that are distributed. This is the fourth award. This is technical innovation, Landini Rex 4 Electra Evolving Hybrid. It is a specialized compact tractor, once again, and it is hybrid, and it has a robotized gearbox and semi-active suspension for the cab. Where is the innovation in this case? The innovation is mostly in the hybrid system, because for the first time in a tractor like this one, the front axle is powered by electric motors only. So there is a good use of energy, there is no waste of energy, etc. But this also improves the control of the tractor because the speed of the front and rear wheels can be set autonomously, whereas in mechanical cases, this is not possible. Expected benefits are improvement in the driving comfort, in drivability, and there is a possibility to customize the ratio between front and rear wheels according to needs. And it's also possible to reduce the turning ratio. This is another expected benefit. Another technical innovation award goes to, and the blue award in this case, goes to Augmenta. This is a field analyzer. It's a sensor. It's a device that can be plug and play retrofitted to implements that have isobus, of course, and however are not very evolved. Thanks to this, the implements or the tools become more evolved because this is made of a set of sensors which by means of a computerized vision can determine the size of the leaves, for example, and this solution can makes it possible to have a variable rate application of nitrogen, of growth regulators, and defoliant. Because of this, the environmental impact is improved, actually, because you you spread less fertilizer, less chemicals in general, and so this is good for the environment. And so the expected benefits are cost saving because there is less waste, as I said, and in particular, reduction in the environmental impact. And as I said at the beginning, it can be retrofitted on a wide range of applications on machines that already have isobus, however. Then another technical innovation by Caffini, smart synthesis. This is a tree sprayer, basically, where the fan is powered by an electric motor, and the nozzles are PWM, that is pulse width modulation. So the pulse widths can be modulated. They are not always open, they are open and closed. And another important aspect, apart from the nozzles in the control, is the better control of the motor thanks to the electrical motor. We know that sprayers have improved in the spraying of the liquid part, but not very well. They've not improved as much in terms of air. So, and when there is air, there is also fuel. And in these sprayers where the air control is better, you have a reduction in the environmental impact. And this is why this device obtained the blue award as well. So expected advantages is the better control of airflow, depending, of course, on the features of the ground and of the canopy. Another novel technical innovation is by Earth Automation. This is an autonomously traveling crawler tractor with internal combustion engine, which was designed according to the principles of Agriculture 4.0. It is connected. It recognizes the surrounding environment and reacts to this environment in different ways according to the situation and the data that has been accumulated with time. What do we expect in terms of foreseen advantages? The optimization of the workforce, where in some cases it can work autonomously, this machine, and also cost reduction and improvement in operator safety, because in these cases, when, I mean, if we have a shorter time for the operator, this improves the safety, of course. The next technical innovation is Hortex, which is the slide ventum trucks. It is a machine for harvesting leaf vegetables. In this case, one single operator is enough. One single human being is enough. What is new here is that the transfer of the product is made by air, so mechanically in the first part, but then it's also made by air, and the airflow makes the passage of leaves possible because they've got a certain weight and separates all the rest, what is to be put aside, as it were. And the leaves that are collected, that are harvested, are automatically deposited in small boxes, and the weight of the boxes is automatically controlled. Because of these features, you can avoid 2 of the 3 operators that normally you would have here. So instead of 3 people, you have 1 person only. And what are the expected advantages? Well, improving productivity, first of all, up to 50% more productivity compared with similar solutions, and a reduction in manpower by 66%, of at least 66%, because 2 out of 3 operators are not needed. Then there is another technical innovation for 2020-21 by Olimac, Drago Gold. This is a sunflower header for sunflower harvesting, where the stalk chopper is hydraulic. This is probably clearer for experts in this type of crop. But to give you an idea, you can see here in the slide that there is a part of the header which is very close to the ground, and another one is 1.5 meters away. This is important because the upper part collects the flower, so what we are interested in, and from which all the useful products are obtained, whereas the part almost touching the floor cuts the residual part of the plant. And in order to improve the yield, it is important that only the flower gets to the machine. With classical solutions, this means that in the field, the stalk remains on the field. But in this case, I can also collect, or better, in this case, I can optimize. I have a cutting of the stalk close to the ground, so I can cut a lot of the stalk, and also the required amount of flour. And so it's economically and ergonomically better. Another technical innovation is by Rinieri. This actually is a system for automatic positioning. It is an inter-row machines, and it helps in for the tillage in inter-row areas, in vineyard, for example. And actually, the machine has the opportunity, has the ability to work off-center in a differentiated way in the 2 sides, one autonomous from the other. And this is a solution that no machine has ever provided so far. There is an improvement in productivity, improvement in ergonomics. The operator simply drives the tractor, and he or she does not have to worry about turning right or left, because really the 2 sides of the machine can work autonomously. And they have a automatic setting of the width for each side. This is a thin wall drip, by a Rivoli steel, with which is thin and treated with insecticide. In this case, the insecticide is included in the plastic matrix of the piping of the tube. It's not added later. It is within the plastic, the insecticide, before the product is finished, as it were. And this solution means that the insecticide is given at a very low dose, and the solution is repellent without being lethal. And it is used, the solution can be used. Why? Because the plastic material can be attacked or bitten by insects. In this case, the insects are not are discouraged, and the amount of time required to look for holes, to look for breakdowns, um, is very high. Whereas in this case, with this mm, product, there is a 90% reduction in insect bites. Another technical innovation is this one, which is by Safim, HIL H2L Una adapter. This is a device enabling the connection of an old tractor with which belongs to the old fleet, as it were, with a modern trailer, with a newer trailer, and we have a single line for the tractor and a double line for the trailers. And in this case, with this solution, we have the adapter. This is the adapter that makes it possible the connection of the hydraulic braking system of of an old tractor with a single line to newer trailers. The advantage is that this machine, this product facilitates the penetration in the market by trailers and trailed machines that are compliant with the mother regulation. So in this case, farmers have a wider range of products to choose from. Another technical innovation, one of the latest one, the last ones for technical innovation is Selvatici, together with Bertoni, that has developed this rotating subsoiler. It it is a rotating subsoiler with shanks moving along an ellipsoidal path, thanks to a crank connecting rod system. This is a machine that did not exist before, and it can work up to 40 centimeters in depth. It does not require additional pass with a finishing harrow, so it might replace two machines with one, the plow and harrow, and it can be used in very dry and very humid conditions, in extreme conditions. It can get to obtain a 30% of the fuel used compared with the traditional work done with reaper and rotating hoe, so plow and harrow. Another solution is this one by Spezia, ALS 2020. This is a leaf picking for collecting red leaves. And why red leaves? We know that as a technical solution, the machines that the foliant machines for vineyards, but none of these leaf pickering machines can select the red ones and collect them to store them. Usually, in the previous machines, all the leaves are left on the soil just to give more strength. But in this case, the red leaf allows to extract from the leaves anthocyanins, which are rich in antioxidants and can be used in pharmaceutical products. Red leaf harvesting was done manually so far. Now, this machine makes it possible to accelerate the procedure. And then, last but not least, in the field of technical innovation contest, and that's the first part of the contest, as I said, this is the wall foil and 10 solution, ALS. It's an adaptive load sensing system which was developed on 10 Agri Plus products. And this is a device that is to be fitted on a directional control valve of a load sensing hydraulic system. And what's new in this? It can set independently the standby margin given by the pump. In a hydraulic system like this one, there is a pressure, as you know, which is higher than zero, which is kept equal in order to increase the reactivity of the system when the pressure has to be higher because of a certain load. This standby pressure, if it is kept fixed when there is a full load, this means that the power of the motor is used in a non-optimal way, and vice versa. In order to have the optimal solution, the standby pressure must be variable, must be set, and this is possible. And the advantages are that there is a reduced fuel consumption, optimization of the engine power, and the possibility this machine can be retrofitted to existing machines. Okay, that was a very quick overview of the technical innovation prizes. Some of them were received also the Blue Prize, which means the Blue Award, which means that the environment is in the minds of many of our companies, and we saw that many of the awards went to agriculture 4.0 systems, and we could also see that most of these machines also focused on the typical needs of European, Italian, and even local farming practices with vineyards, etc. Now, very, very, very quickly, even more quickly, I could describe a couple of the mentions which are silver medal. There were 28 of them, actually. There were solutions that were very different from various points of view. 28 mentions, as I said, and there will be more in the second phase with Eima physical Eima, that is. And when the emergency is over. What can I tell you about these mentions? I thought that I needed more time for technical innovation, so I didn't prepare anything for the mentions. For example, GP Service Lab, diagnostic and diagnostic solution. This is interesting for two reasons. One, this is a collaboration between a public university, Modena Reggio Emilia, and a private company. So this is an example of something that can be replicated. And this solution, as many other solutions, makes it possible to identify through a pump, through a hydraulic pump, to identify the wear state. So this is maintenance, preventive maintenance, but this is only when it is really required, so not with excessive costs. So it's preventive in that I do understand before there is an actual break, I understand that there is a need for a maintenance intervention, so which means optimization of everything. Maybe another thing I can mention is this one, Ital Manometry, that produced a special device and to control the drops coming out of the nozzle. So it's a pressure device, pressure setting device, and it must be easy to read, therefore. And Ital Manometry has actually worked out a device with two different hands. And so it's two in one, basically. And so it's very accurate. Another mention I would like to highlight, and then that's it for me, is by Merlo, which had already submitted a integral electric transmission on e-worker. And so this is a fully electric telescopic handler, which means that only that the batteries can be saved, and really energy saving, stability, to many other many advantages. Now, as I said, there are 28 mentions. I don't have time to mention all of them. Take 2 or 3 of them, but they are really all worth being studied, seen, and please, I invite you also to visit the virtual exhibition when it is available, when the 3D exhibition will be fully functioning and we have solved all the technical problems we've had. Thank you very much, and have a nice Eima Digital. Thank you.